Hi, and welcome back to Cat Rin Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today, before I get on into my video, yes, we are in another backdrop or in another part of our home today, but that's just because Mark and I are currently working on adding on to our shelves inside that room, and yeah, we really didn't want to have to work on clearing everything around in order to set back up. So yeah, we're in a different area. So you actually get to see some of Mark's collection, which are some of the various cameras you get to see behind me. We have cameras and other things all over the house, so.
Yes,
yeah.
other things.
So, today we're going to be reviewing Red Sonja, The Long Walk to Oblivion, the one-shot. So, my local shop apparently wanted to screw me over and they did not order this. So, I actually found out about it on Spectacular Spider Grandpa's channel when he did his pulls a while ago, and I had to special order it, so it came recently. And this one shot actually takes place before the 0 issue. So this tells the story of how and why exactly Red Sonja is in our time. So as we open on into the comic, we get to see a man is in search of Red Sonja. He's in search of someone to save his home of Meru. And his name is Ram. And of course, he's in search of Red Sonja. Red Sonja, we find out, is, of course, having a lot of ale at a local inn. And yeah, this thug is not a fan of Red Sonja taking over his table. Apparently, she is sitting at his table and she's drinking, and that is not acceptable. So, yeah, she tells him that there are other tables, so he should go find one. And then he gets lippy with her. Yeah, don't get lippy with Red Sonja, ever. So, the next panel, we get to see Ram has finally gotten to the inn where Red Sonja is, and the very same man who was hassling her is now running out holding his bloody face, crying and screaming. So Ram thinks that was a promising sign, and he walks in and he notices that there's one red-haired woman drinking alone. So of course this has got to be Red Sonja. He introduces himself and tells her the plight of his city, of his home, and the fact that he needs her. She then puts her hand down on the table and lifts it, and you get to see the man who is harassing her, his severed nose is now on the table. And she tells him that was a gentle encouragement to leave her in the company of her own thoughts. And then we get to business. He discusses the fact that she really is the she-devil, and he needs to talk to her. So she suggests that he buy her the next round. He then goes on talking about Meru, stories that she's heard a million times over. She really doesn't care to hear anymore, until he talks about this horrible demon that has now trying to destroy his home, and the fact that only she can destroy this demon. They need her. They need Red Sonja and her sword. So she finally agrees, okay, she'll kill the demon, and on the way they can discuss her payment. So we get to see, meanwhile, back in the capital city of Meru, some of the magical elders of the city actually had something to do with conspiring against Red Sonja in order to summon this demon, in order to have her come and fight the demon and to be killed. So we find out that they're actually working with Count Goth, the very same individual that she is currently facing in the current run of Red Sonja. And yeah, we find out that they're willing to pretty much do whatever it takes at this point. So while Red Sonja and Ram are on their way to Meru, they get attacked, and they're not just attacked by anyone. They're attacked by a band of thugs who happen to be led by the very same man that Red Sonja had an issue with earlier on in the comic. They're there to deal with Sonja and to punish her for what she did to them. So you find out that you don't mess with Red Sonja. Even if she's taken your nose and left you looking like Lord Voldemort, you don't fight with Red Sonja. Because you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And they find this out themselves. One man individual is smart enough to run away, and he's saying it's not worth it. And the others, well, they all die. The guy who lost his nose earlier actually gets his head cut off. So that sucks. Anywho, their horse has been slaughtered. They end up having to take the men's horses that they just killed, and Ram is saying there's no possible way that they're going to be able to make it to Meru on time now, because these horses, they're going to need to rest, they're going to need water and to be fed. There's no possible way they can make it now. But Red Sonja, she's got a plan. Actually, she's got a shortcut. So they enter into this strange cave in the ground, and we find out that this cave is the home of a monster. So what is Red Sonja gonna do with this monster, and how on earth does she think that this monster is going to get them to Meru on time? Well, I'll tell you. She jumps on the beast's back, and she basically forces it to take them for a ride. So she tells Ram that she once drank with a soldier who said that, I believe these are Warrens, that Warrens are smart enough to actually transport you wherever you need to go. Just, you need to be able to mount one safely. And Ram's asking her, he's like, oh good, so you've done this before. And she laughs and says, don't be ridiculous. So of course, while all this is going on, Meru is actually being devastated by this very same demon. And the magical elders within the city are thinking that this has gone too far. We can't have Meru being devastated just to fulfill your need to destroy Red Sonja. She's not here. She may not be coming. This thing's going to destroy our home. So they're about ready to stop it themselves when they see that Red Sonja is on her way. She's very near. So of course, Red Sonja, dismounting from the Weirin beast, goes and charges head on into the demon, which, I mean, that panel is probably the best one in the entire comic. The art style throughout this book, I really wish they had used the same artist that they're currently using on the Red Sonja run. There's nothing really wrong with it, just some of the faces and some of the bodies that are drawn throughout in this book, they're not as well done as what we're seeing in the current run of Red Sonja, so it's kind of disappointing, honestly, but ultimately this is telling us the tale of what happened in the very beginning of the 0 issue of the latest Red Sonja book, when we saw the devastation of Meru and the fact that it was all destroyed and everything. Well, we find out that it actually wasn't destroyed. Instead, Kalgoth, Red Sonja, and a bunch of the Meruvians were all transported out of this time and were later brought about in ours. So it ends up right where we get to see Red Sonja at the end of the first issue, right there. I gotta tell you, I liked this for a one-shot leading into the Zero issue. I liked the fact that it answered a lot of the questions that we might have about what exactly happened to the Moravian city and, you know, how exactly Red Sonja had failed them or not had failed them. But like I said, the art, it's okay. I don't feel like it's as solid as the current run of Red Sonja. But I feel like the writing throughout was still just as good. And, I mean, you know, it is what it is. It was a fun little lead off into the Zero issue. Do I necessarily think that this is a must read for anyone who is currently reading Red Sonja? Not necessarily, but you know what? It was a fun little backup story for it. So, yeah, give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you're currently reading Red Sonja, and if you're enjoying it as much as I am. Also, did you catch up on the one shot, or did you miss it like I did and then have to special order it? I actually didn't even know that this was coming out when it was, because I don't know, I guess my shop doesn't like Red Sonja. Like I've said before, I am the only person who actually reads Red Sonja at my local shop, so yeah, it's hit or miss whether or not they actually always get everything, which is a little disappointing. So yeah, subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of my older videos I have up for offer here on Cat Run Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.